Hello Aries, this is your reading for the 4th until the 10th of April 2025. It's going to be general, so please take the bits that resonate and let the rest go. Let's welcome in the high frequency archangels, ascended masters, light beings, spirit guides, and any other guides that we have, as well as our higher selves to assist with this reading. Aries, let's see what's going to jump out here for this week in terms of an energy for you to maybe think about or ponder on, or maybe you're experiencing it or thinking about it. Let's have a look. All right, we want one to jump out. Thank you, Spirit. That would be awesome. So things are not jumping. Maybe there are things that you're hanging on to here, Aries. Okay. Wheel of Fortune. The center. So this reading is basically all about the end of a cycle. You might be looking, or you might be feeling into this at the moment, and you might be feeling like, yeah, something's wrapping up and something's starting, and you may not even be able to put your finger on it exactly. There might be several things. It might just be, let's grab another one. It might be, it could be some things in your life that are changing. It might even be the way, just your approach to things, or the way you view things. Maybe even some values, or maybe they're outdated values that you're letting go of here. But certainly those eclipse energies, I think a lot of us are shedding stuff. And oh wow, we have none other than the star here, Aries. So you are moving into alignment, balance, into healing, and I think you're healing. Maybe you're healing from the past cycle, whatever that was. Or maybe you spent the past cycle healing, and maybe now you're feeling like you're more in a healed state. Okay. Let's see what else is coming in around this. Underneath you have the Five of Pentacles. We'll look at these cards in depth in a moment. The Moon. You have the Two of Swords here. Knight of Wands. Current energy is the King of Wands, so you're feeling kind of pretty strong at the moment. Have the Seven of Cups in your external environment, Nine of Wands, and we have the Five of Swords to finish there. Okay, I'm just going to have a quick look at this. I'll be back to you in 1 second. Okay, Aries, underlying the reading, you have the Five of Pentacles, and you may be feeling at the moment like something is missing, or it could also be that when I say something is missing in your life that you are kind of looking for or wanting. But it could also be talking about that maybe there may be something in your life at the moment that maybe you do need help with. Okay. Or that it could also be talking about an undercurrent of that maybe you feel that this could be quite a deep level, because we also have the Moon coming up, which is about things hidden. Okay, so it could almost be a subconscious, I guess almost a subconscious, deeply held value that, and it could have been from conditioning, or from some sort of dysfunctional input that you experienced as a child, not necessarily coming from you, okay, coming from another person. That is sort of has to do with maybe you have low self-worth, or you don't feel that you are of value. Maybe you feel unlovable, or that you are not worthy of having love, wealth, abundance in your life. Okay, if that resonates. Now that last statement there I've mentioned is not going to resonate for all of you. Okay, but you might feel that something is missing from your life. Okay, or that maybe there's something you need help with here, Aries. Recent past, I think, and this is sort of right next to your Wheel of Fortune, which is the cycle. I feel like maybe there are some things that have been hidden from your conscious awareness, that is perhaps they are in your subconscious, okay, and they are sort of coming, you are becoming more aware of them, because at the moment it's almost like maybe you are sensing them, and maybe there's a decision that you're needing to make, or that your awareness of this deep aspect of yourself, or of this, it could even be an unhelpful belief that you have about yourself or about life in general, that maybe it's prompting you to make a decision here about something else that's going on in your life, possibly. Okay. This can also be about procrastination, maybe sitting on the fence, But, you know, we have the colour white here. So purity. So you have good intentions here. You're wanting to do the right thing by yourself and the right thing for everyone else as well. Okay. Which sometimes when we have to make big decisions that are complex, and that when these decisions impact several people, not just ourselves, okay, they're the difficult ones, okay, and maybe you're going through one of these at the moment, Aries, okay. In the near future, it's interesting because you have the Knight of Wands, and I might clarify this one in a moment. This is about rushing in, and maybe you're going to rush into a decision. Or this could be that your enthusiasm is, or your passion is being inspired for whatever reason. And I'm actually going to clarify this energy right now because we need to determine what's going on here before we move on with the reading. Okay. Knight of Wands clarified by the, Queen of Wands. I thought that was 2 cards, but it is one. Queen of Wands, which is an energy of creativity and passion and doing what you feel you need to do to express yourself. So that could be, you know, what this is about. So it's saying you are going to move forward with some sort of creative expression. And the interesting thing is that this decision might not necessarily have anything to do with this activation. Okay, this could be something else, because I feel like this is sort of linked to, because we have the moon here and we have this is basically the moon card. There's something else going on that I feel is sort of like deep-seated stuff that you are working through. And this sort of makes sense at this time, because I think a lot of us are going through this 4D stuff where, you know, our subconscious stuff is coming up and we're trying to kind of go through that. But then we're also, on another level, we're activating our passions. Okay, so there's like a few different things going on. Because in your current energy, Aries, you have the King of Wands, which is just that, you know, you're activating your passions, you're being committed, dedicated, creative, and you're possibly managing others here. Like, this could be a management role, or maybe you're moving into that, but definitely, you know, confidence and feeling positive, okay, about things, despite this decision that's going on in the background, possibly, okay. In your external environment, you have the 7 of Cups. Now, these could be, being in the external environment, could be external distractions. Okay, so maybe there are things or energies around that are potential distractions. And I think maybe to some extent, because we have the water element here, it's almost like, and the moon is a watery element card. It could even be as well that some of this subconscious stuff that you are processing, maybe it's like unhelpful beliefs and patterns of ways of thinking, okay? That can itself be a distraction, because at times it might feel as though that's eating away at your confidence. So it could be that there's some deep-seated stuff that is sort of perhaps distracting you from your empowerment here, Aries. Okay. The interesting thing is that what you're wanting to do here is really to protect and to protect all of the work that you've done so far and everything that you have achieved and everything that you've created. Okay, so far. And this is, I think, is, you know, what you're hoping to do. But I think to some extent you have already done this, Aries, and this is why you're kind of sitting here going, well, you know, I've done all this work and, yeah. Actually, let's clarify that 9 of Wands there right now. Yeah, you're also being wary. And, I mean, obviously, you know, when we are dealing with our personal stuff on many different dimensional frequencies and different levels, like our deep subconscious stuff is coming up now, okay? And then we're dealing with practical daily things of life, as well as then also maybe activating our passions, which for some of us might be kind of a little separate from our work environment. You know, it's no wonder, Aries, that you are feeling like this, you know, and many of us are feeling this. It's like, you know, battle weary, and like, when is the struggle going to end? Okay. Let's just grab a card here to clarify that 9 of Wands, thanks, Spirit. But it's also a positive energy in that you have done a good job in whatever it is that you've done, okay? And it's saying there for you to be proud of that, okay? The 9 of Wands is clarified by the 9 of Wands. Fascinating. So here we have a girl standing out here, and she's got a stick here with a flame on it. Okay, so this is just a different take on the Knight of Wands. So let's look at this. So whilst we might be feeling battle weary, I think what Spirit's sort of saying here is that Aries, really focus on not so much thinking, I guess, dwelling on the past and everything that you've done in the past, but maybe it's about really holding this flame of truth and of power and of spiritual light that you have, so that you can still feel supported by what you've done in the past, symbolized by this fence here, but that you are going to have the confidence to literally step over that, to step beyond, move beyond all of that stuff that you've sort of done in the past, because it's going to be in the background informing you and strengthening you, because there are talent, skills, gifts and abilities, as well as practical things that you've done and concrete things that you've created, as well as practical things and relationships and connections. So that's all going to be supportive. But I think this energy has a little more of a future focus. Okay, so I think maybe that's what Spirit's sort of saying there, is that, you know, really create a vision for your future here, Aries. Okay, even though you might be feeling like, holy crap, you know, I've done a lot, I'm still doing a lot, and it's about really upping the frequency, I think, now. I think I will grab an oracle card at the end from the Arcturians. I've just been meditating the last couple of days for a little bit of time, and the Arcturians are, you know, 7D, 9D, and they're really helping us at this time. I'm not sure why I'm shuffling, but we do have the Five of Swords here. As the outcome card, and this could be like a conflict for you, Aries, and I feel like it sort of has to do with maybe this stuff that you know, maybe if something's missing or you might need help with something. It could just be about you working on really giving yourself time to acknowledge the deeper things, and if you're feeling like, you know, unloved or poorly treated, or you're feeling poorly, is to really treat yourself, is to allow yourself to receive the higher frequencies, but then maybe to, you know, gift yourself something, you know, buy something for yourself, do something nice that you enjoy, maybe put some beautiful music on, and just allow yourself to be in receptive mode and to sort of, you know, benefit from that. Because I feel like this deeper stuff that you're sorting through is, you know, it could be bringing up those feelings of, you know, it's really tough and it's like difficult, and then you're wanting your empowerment here. So this is the conflict. It's almost like you've got your empowered self is here, and this is like your other sort of stuff that you're processing, the deep sort of subconscious stuff. And at times, Aries, because, you know, you might want to be independent, you want to get on with things, and you want to be action, go, 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 you know, you might be actually sort of dismissing some of this deeper stuff and just saying, well, I'm not really going to be worrying about that. I need to, you know, focus on my priorities. I think we're going to clarify that Five of Swords right now. But I think because you have the moon here in your reading, it's saying that if you can, this card's just fallen out, I don't know what it is yet. The moon is really getting you to acknowledge the hidden things, but also for you to work out what is truth for you and what is not truth. And also what has been helpful for you as you've been growing up and what has been unhelpful. So it might actually be worth you writing out these values and beliefs that you've acquired, you know, through childhood and teenagehood and all that, and then the positive ones, and maybe there's some unhelpful ones. Okay, really just unpack that, because I think it might help you to clarify some things here. Five of Swords is clarified by the Six of Cups. So this is about like an inner child energy, and yeah, this deep stuff is looking at inner child, and I think, you know, Aries, you don't want to be too much dismissing your inner child here, which is what this could be sort of representing, okay, in the context of this reading. Keep acknowledging your inner child, and even you might even like to do a daily practice, or even in your meditation, there might even be a simple statement that you need to say to your inner child. And I think if you just do some journaling around this, when, like we said, looking at the functional, those helpful beliefs and attitudes and values that you've acquired from your childhood, and the unhelpful ones, because most of us have some of both, okay? And then if, you know, say if it's around, well, you know, perhaps you didn't feel supported in a way that you would have liked as a child or as a teenager, is to really then create a statement where you are giving yourself that support on a daily basis. Okay, so this is almost like reparenting ourselves here. Okay, Aries, there may be an element of that. If that resonates, there may be an element of that you could be looking at doing here. Because rather than treating this deep work as a distraction, okay, I think treating it as part of your soul mission and part of your, you know, part of completing the cycle and really coming into your fuller acknowledgement of your soul and all of your wisdom, you may need to be doing some inner child kind of work here. The bottom of the deck is Four of Swords, and isn't that fascinating? Remember when we said we like to be on the go, you know, Aries like to be on the go. It's really about, yes, let's take some time out, do some meditation, slow things down for maybe it might be for a short period of time, once a fortnight, once a week, whatever it is you're going to do here, Aries, okay? Do some meditation, slow things down, Four of Swords, and really start to do some journaling, acknowledge your inner child. I'm just going to grab the Rose Oracle here because it's on top. And, yeah, this is my new Rose Oracle deck. Thank goodness we had bigger cards. I couldn't really see the small the pocket deck. I could not really see those cards, the images on there. So, Spirit, let's just grab an energy for Aries. This is from the Arcturians, okay? This deck, I feel, kind of is resonant with Arcturus energy, very soft and caring, you know, divine feminine. And, you know, as always, Aries, you know, I think you're quite a, you know, masculine, fiery kind of go-go sign. It could be a case of, you know, injecting some feminine, kind of almost forcing yourself to slow down. Just put it in your schedule, like I'm slowing down for these next 2 hours on this particular day. And, yeah, just really doing some inner work here. Right, let's cut the deck because these don't jump out. Sorry, I forgot. Let's have a look. The Rose of Venus, and we were talking about doing, you know, giving yourself some love here, Aries, okay? Some soft, gentle stuff. Alignment, flow, right relationship, and harmony. Yeah, that's a rose there. And I'm just going to read this in the book, so I'll just pause and find that. Okay, I'm going to read a part of this here. It says here, okay, Venus was the Roman goddess of love, sex, and fertility, and her symbol was the rose. Perhaps the ancients knew more about the interconnectedness of the universe and life than we think. There's a sacred order to all things. Nature holds the codes of life, and as you're part of nature, you do too. There's an intelligent force governing all of life. The same force that tells flowers when to bloom and the planet how to spin exists within you. Our tendency to overanalyze and overthink can get us out of alignment with nature and thus life. Our resistance to change does this too. This card is an invitation to look at anything that doesn't feel in alignment. It's a reminder to trust in the tapestry of your life, your ever-changing nature, and to be dedicated to living a life that's deeply aligned. And there's a soul inquiry question here too. It says, what's no longer in alignment with who you're being called to be? Yeah, and that's also in alignment with the moon card here. Is about just asking yourself some of those deep questions, Aries. You know, what are the helpful things that you are wanting to carry with you, and what are the unhelpful things, you know, are those deep-seated values and beliefs that maybe haven't helped you, okay? And to let those go and to basically decide what is going to be in alignment for you and what isn't, okay, which is what the Rose of Venus is saying here as well. So that you can move towards, you know, alignment, flow, right relationship and harmony with yourself and everything else. Hope that's been helpful, Aries. I think we'll wrap it up there. Look forward to our next one. In the meantime, have a great day, a great week, and I'll see you again soon.